and welcome back to another episode of the Lazy Hypnotherapist. I, as always, am your resident Lazy Hypnotherapist. And if you are watching on YouTube, hello and welcome back. I haven't posted on YouTube for the last couple of episodes because I got a new phone and I had a squidgy thing on my old phone that used to put it on the glass so that it would connect, and then I lost that and it was a bit of a schmozzle, but we've got a tripod set up and we are ready to go. So welcome back YouTube, and welcome back to everybody else as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am really keen, as always, to talk about the topic that I want to get into today, which is why subconscious minds can often resist change, even when you really want something. So I'm super, super keen to get into today's episode, and I hope that you've all been really well. I'm always interested to get a gauge of who is listening, and I would love to hear from you if you send me a DM on Instagram or wherever of when you listen to this podcast. Who are you? What is it that you do? Are you a practitioner that's wanting to learn more about conversational hypnosis? Are you a client that's looking into getting hypnosis on yourself and wanting to know all the ins and outs of it? I would love to know even more of you, because I love connecting with you all, and I know a lot of you who you are. A lot of you are students of mine, so welcome. But yeah, I'm always really keen to hear from you all and get to know who you are, because that's one of the best parts of my job, is connecting with people and meeting new people. But yeah, let's get into today's episode. And if you are watching on YouTube and you see me looking down, I am looking at my computer and I'm looking at notes, because I, just like anyone, forget the types of things that I actually even want to talk about as soon as someone puts a camera in my face. So, why does the subconscious resist change? It's one of the most interesting ones, because it's like, okay, I really want this change. Why would a part of me ever resist it? You know, you want to stop overthinking, you want to stop binge eating, you want to trust and feel calm in your relationship, you want to stop procrastinating. That's a big one. You want to feel more confident, yet you keep doing the same things over and over, even though you have this massive want and desire to make this happen. You know, I see it a lot with my binge eating clients, of course. And I've spoken on this before in this podcast about how so many of my clients feel like they don't get results, or they're not able to stop binge eating simply because they have a lack of desire. And it's like, no, that is actually never the case. If you want to stop binge eating, your desire is absolutely there. Your motivation is absolutely there. There's just a disconnect between what your conscious wants and what your subconscious wants. And we can only make change when our subconscious desires match up with our wait, did I just say subconscious? When our conscious desires match up with our subconscious desires, and essentially what feels safe and okay for our subconscious. So, what is actually happening here? Because, as I said, it's not a lack of willpower or desire, but it comes down, as always, to protection and safety. That is all our subconscious mind cares about, ever. That is all it cares about. One of the biggest myths, I suppose, is that self-sabotage, to be honest, even exists. It's like, you are not ever self-sabotaging for the sake of hurting yourself. You are never self-sabotaging for the sake of just, you know, not loving yourself enough, or not thinking that, you're worthy or whatever. It's self-sabotage for protection and for safety. You are consistently trying to keep yourself safe based on what you have deemed in the past to be safe. And even more importantly, what you have deemed to be unsafe. So your subconscious, it only has one goal, and that is to keep you safe. Not to keep you successful, not to keep you productive, not to keep you confident, to keep you safe. So even though your desires are success and productivity and confidence, if it doesn't feel safe for your subconscious, we're not getting there. So that's why all of our work goes to the subconscious mind, and having your conscious desires feel safe to your subconscious mind. And safety is defined by what is familiar. And a lot of my clients always feel like if it's uncomfortable, that means it's unsafe. Or if it's comfortable, that means it's safe. But no, our mind only goes by what is familiar and unfamiliar. Familiar feels safe, unfamiliar feels unsafe. So familiar, safe, could be anxiety. It could be overthinking. It could be chaos. Familiar equals predictable. Predictable equals safe to your subconscious. So when you try to change, your subconscious doesn't ask, is this what we want? Is this good for us? It asks, is this known? If the answer is no, then that resistance appears, and that resistance looks like self-sabotage. So where people really get stuck is that they think like applying more pressure will work. When you've got this resistance and you've got this pressure, that will overcome the resistance. They think I need more discipline, I need to work harder, I need to push through. But pressure activates the nervous system. And when the nervous system feels pressure, it tightens. It tightens. And of course, the subconscious, that precious little dainty thing, that precious fragile thing, thinks that is danger. So the harder you try to push for change, the more your subconscious mind kind of braces and pushes against it. It's like this battle. And if you can see me on YouTube, I'm like putting my fists together as if like we're battling it out, because that is often how we'll try and create change. But what we know is that we actually need to almost meld with the subconscious mind and almost make friends with it and work with it as opposed to working against it. What you resist persists. So the more you try to force it, the more the subconscious feels unsafe. So it's usually like the resistance is usually like a sign of fear. I suppose there's the fear of, okay, if I stop being anxious, I might lose control. If I stop people pleasing, I might be rejected. If I stop binge eating, I might have to feel everything. If I become confident and put myself out there and become this big personality, then people might judge me. So it's deeply protective. It's deeply maladaptive in the sense that the subconscious mind is always trying to protect us, but it's kind of just going about it in kind of a maladaptive, shitty way. But at the end of the day, it's protective. And I always kind of think about it in the sense of like our subconscious mind, when it comes to, creating anxiety and all these problems that we experience, it's kind of almost like a little kid that's trying to help you in the kitchen. Like they have this really beautiful intention, They're trying to help, but they're just making this really big mess. So they just need to be trained and taught how to do it. And that's kind of how I always, encourage my clients to think about whatever it is that they're going through. That the intention is beautiful. The intention is protection, just needs to be like trained. And that's what hypnotherapy is. So I suppose, where hypnotherapy, and particularly conversational hypnotherapy, really differs from other forms of therapy is that we are only working with the subconscious mind. We're not working with that conscious desire. We're not working with that logical, analytical part of your brain. We are getting straight to the heart of it. And our goal is to have your subconscious line up with your conscious. So we need to work on the subconscious in order to get there. The conscious is good. The conscious knows what it wants. It's great. We need to be working on the subconscious. So we're not just focused on behavior change. We're focused on feelings, beliefs change, and that then affects behavior. So that's really, really, I suppose, what our whole aim in sessions is to only follow this subconscious information. And in conversational hypnosis, I teach my clients how to elicit subconscious information, how to notice it when it comes up, and then more importantly, what to do with it when it comes up to create these breakthroughs and these changes for your clients. So it's kind of like if you're listening to this and you're having a bunch of resistance to changing a habit or whatever it is, instead of asking yourself like why do I keep coming up against this wall, or how do I make myself stop this behavior, I want you to just try and ask yourself, like, what does this part of me think it's protecting? Because that single question changes everything. That changes it from this like a really bad part of you that's just has all these bad habits to this part of you that's trying to protect you, and let's work with it. And, protection isn't always from like a big bad monster, a big bad, thing. It's like little things that we determine are safe or unsafe when we're younger, being judged, whatever it is that we have attached a slight level of pain towards when we're younger, our subconscious mind is going to always try and take us away from that. Putting yourself out there. What if you get judged? What if you become really successful, but then you lose all your money because you experienced that when you were younger? You saw that happen. There's a range of different fears and dangers that we perceive as when we're younger that create fears as we get older. And what we need to do is firstly understand exactly what the fear is there. So really get to know the subconscious mind and go, okay, I want this thing. I want to stop binge eating, but for some reason, my mind is attaching a bit of resistance there. So what is this part of me trying to protect me from here? If I stop binge eating, what's the fear? Okay, maybe I'll have to feel things. Maybe I'll have to find other ways to self-soothe. Okay, what's the fear there? And we just keep digging deeper until we get to it. And what we do then is we apply different perspectives. We bring in our adult brain and we question and we go, okay, this was a fear. Is it still a fear? Is it still true? And in the moment, you're able to have all these breakthroughs about this feeling, these subconscious fears and beliefs that have been going on for so long undetected. And then you're able to detect them and go, oh, I didn't even know I was scared of that. That's nothing to be scared of. Or, okay, how can I tackle that? I didn't know that was the underlying problem. How can I deal with that now? Awareness often is enough to dismantle a problem, because so many of these things that we struggle with, or that there is resistance there, we just don't know why. We don't know what's going on. And when we really understand ourselves is when we are able to make such significant change. So the subconscious mind, often it feels like it is working against us so much, but we know that it is only ever trying to protect us. And we just need to get to the heart of that and go, okay, What is this thing trying to protect us from? We need to change our relationship with our subconscious mind to be one of, okay, you're not my enemy. We're teammates. We're working together. We both had different ideas of how we would do that, but let's come together and figure this out. It's your job to comfort your subconscious mind and these parts of you that are bringing up this resistance, because usually they are quite childlike parts, because usually they're developed in childhood. So we almost need to be the adult and the mentor and go, okay, I know you're scared of this, but hey, it's safe because of these reasons, and here's what we're going to do. Our whole goal as adults is to create that safety for our subconscious mind for things that we want and desire. That, I think, is all I want to say. I think that's it. If you've been frustrated or you feel like, you're not changing fast enough, I guess, the biggest thing I want you to hear is that your subconscious is not against you. It's trying to keep you safe in the only way that it knows how. Real change doesn't happen through force. It happens through safety, simplicity, and understanding. Whether you're a client, whether you are a practitioner and you're wanting to learn how to break through those walls with your clients, I hope that this has helped you. Thank you so much for listening. You guys are the absolute best. Remember to DM me. Let me know who you are. Tell me a bit about you and what you do. I would love to connect with you. If you are wanting to sign up to study conversational hypnosis with me, the link, as always, is in the description below. Remember, you can start learning straight away when you log in with the recorded trainings and the masterclasses, the Q&As, the Facebook group, and then you can come along to any of the live trainings that happen every 12 weeks. So thank you for listening today, and I will see you and speak to you next time. Bye.